Welcome to another edition of the Tiger Men's Lacrosse Report. I'm your host, Spiro Marikas, along with the head coach of the Tigers, Sean Nadlin. And Coach, the other day against Navy, a week ago Saturday against Navy, your team came right out and went right at the midshipmen, jumped out to a big lead. You did the same exact thing to St. Joe's on Friday up in Philadelphia, and I'm sure that had to make you feel really good the way your team started that ball game.
Yeah, you never know going, on the road how your team's gonna. This was really our first road game, overnight trip. We went to Hopkins, but that's kind of like a little day trip. So, I thought, seeing how our guys performed, how they kind of handled their business, the night before with practice in the hotel, and getting out there and starting fast and strong was definitely a good sign for us and put us in position to be, successful, obviously, for the game.
And it was a great team effort because your offense just was humming through the whole first half. And then your defense throughout the entire game played well. Luke Downs again winning awards this week. He's been great for you in the goal.
Yeah, Luke's been solid. He played really well in that third quarter. We built up the lead early in the first, big lead at halftime. I think it was 11-3. But we knew, they're a resilient team. That's a very veteran group besides their goalie and face-off, which you could tell were kind of holes for them. We got to their goalie early, had success there. Matt had success at the X. I think those were two good combinations for us to build that lead. But when they come out at halftime, they scored two quick ones. And then we were able to answer, with Mikey's goal in the third quarter. But they had some really, really good opportunities that Luke, stood tall, made saves. We went man down way too much in that third quarter and throughout the game. But I thought defensively our guys did a good job, just staying focused. We didn't play our best defense, but, Luke was a big part of that win.
Like 8 penalties for you. When you went back and look at the film, were they all legitimate penalties?
I mean, there's a couple offsides that were definitely legitimate. The slashes, we definitely hit a guy in the head, looks like, in the shoulder. So, yeah, it's a road game,
In Philadelphia.
In Philadelphia. You never know what's going to be called.
Mikey Weishauer, another great game for the sophomore, and you can really tell that he is a different player than he was last year. He suffered an injury in the fall, and it looks like maybe he never really recovered 100%, and this year he's just a different player.
Yeah, play with a lot of confidence, which I think he always has. But it's been good to see him be able to contribute and really some kind of key goals. At times I talked about the one in the third quarter. It's like St. Joe's gets a third one in a row coming out of halftime. That's a lot of momentum going their way. But for him to step up in our offensive possession after they just scored two and get one that kind of takes the wind out of their sails that little bit, puts it back into ours and keeps us going. So he's obviously that first midfield, the offense does a good job. Really sharing the ball, and he's cashing in on the opportunities.
Josh Weber with a bunch of assists.
Yeah, and Webby's he's just a do-it-all guy, and he's taking what they give him. He's not trying to push too much, which is great. I think it was our second goal of the game. I statted it out. We had over 10 passes and I think over 7 dodges to result in a goal, and that's what our offense needs to be. A lot of ball movement, off-ball movement, and being able to work for a really good opportunity and put it in the back of the net.
This week, 2 games. You've got Loyola on Tuesday night, and then you've got UMBC on Saturday. Loyola on the road, UMBC at home at Johnny Unitas Stadium. The Greyhounds opened up with a big win against Georgetown, but they've been kind of backtracking here. They've lost their last 3, and Georgetown beats Notre Dame, so obviously that was a real quality win for Loyola. What do you see in the Greyhounds heading into this game?
They've played really tough competition. You got Georgetown, Maryland, Hopkins, Rutgers. That's been their competition to point. So they're battle tested, and they've had to deal with some of that, but they've played strong. Probably not as strong as they would like to. I think their goalie's playing well. They're running a lot of guys offensively. They got some very good talent there, and they're just long and rangy defensively. They still want to push transition. They still want to get dangerous from defense to offense. So, they're a team that can definitely play at a high level. That hasn't changed for them. They've just had some really tough competition that early in the season I think has been hard for them to really find a groove.
And then on Saturday, UMBC, and last year the Retrievers held you to 4 goals. obviously your offense is looking to put on a better showing than that on Saturday at Johnny Unitas Stadium.
Yeah, for us, we talk about it's consistency. Being able to get out there, play the way we're capable of playing, and be able to produce, accordingly in all facets of the game. So we're going to approach, that just like every other, game and practices leading into it.
All right, so Glenn Smith and I will have a call for you from Ridley Field tomorrow, Tuesday at 6 p.m. And then on Saturday, Ben Rosenbaum and Glenn Smith will have the UMBC call for you at noon. So for the head coach of the Tigers, Sean Nadlin, I'm Spiro Marikas. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Tiger Men's Lacrosse Report.